Yes.
Mr. Wonderful's in the house. He's going to be fighting in the co-main event, UFC 179, October 25th. Woo! Phil Davis, what's going on, Phil?
Not too much, guys. How are you?
We're good, dude.
Good.
So I hear you're the Brazilian killer now.
Whoa!
What's going on?
Whoa!
They named me the Brazilian killer. I guess I gotta live up to it.
You have to now.
Yeah.
You're making another trip down to Brazil. I can't believe it. What's it like down there?
It's like any hostile country.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Pretty much. I mean,
But do you like it? Do you like going down there?
I do. I do. It's a love-hate relationship. It's hard when you have to go down there and compete, but at the same time, they're all cheering against me, and I use that to fuel me.
Nice, nice. And you're taking on one of the best, Glover Teixeira. I mean, you guys are both top light heavyweight contenders. What do you think about that matchup?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Anytime I get the chance to go against the top guy, it puts me right back in a chance to fight for a title.
Right, and which is what you're all about. I mean, eventually
Absolutely.
you got to get in there, right, with John Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Although we talked a lot about John Jones last time you were in here.
Right.
I don't know if we talked enough about your actual opponent.
Right.
Was that something that, because a lot of people were saying, oh, Phil, he lost his last fight because he was too worried about John Jones. What did you think about it after all was said and done?
Well, nothing about what I say and what I do. I mean, every time somebody fights, both guys say they're going to knock the other guy out.
Right.
So obviously somebody's lying.
Yes. That's a good point.
Every time.
Yeah,
Yes.
you get it. You're good with stats.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really good with numbers.
Yes.
And so, in my mind, nothing that I say pre-fight correlates to what actually happens in the fight.
Right.
I'm never going to give away my game plan.
Well,
Right.
that'd be dumb.
Exactly.
Right.
Because chances are you want to knock the guy out or submit him.
Exactly.
Right.
Bottom line is you're trying to win the fight.
Win the fight.
Right, right. And either it goes your way or it doesn't. That's
Right.
just the fight game.
You
So.
also are good with
Hey,
numbers.
see, man?
Oh my gosh,
This
we
is
got
crazy.
this. We got
50-50.
You're
this.
so smart.
50-50.
Right.
Either you win or lose, or you have a draw.
Yeah.
Man.
Phil, we're also great at flipping coins.
Yeah,
I mean, we have all these things down.
Nailed
We
it.
can do it heads or tails.
So what does Glover bring to the table? What do you have to watch out for when you fight Glover Teixeira?
Mostly what he has is a big overhand right and a left hook.
Okay.
And that is like 90% of what he brings to the table.
Really?
That is about 90%.
What about his ground game? Because we haven't seen much of it in the UFC.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. He has a solid jiu-jitsu background. But, I mean...
You're not worried.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not worried.
Do you think
but
yours is
everybody
better?
has a solid jiu-jitsu background.
Right.
I mean, who doesn't
Well,
have
if
a black belt?
If you're
in
from
their closet?
Brazil, I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah,
I
come
think you're
on.
born with it over
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
And yet, and your ground game's pretty good.
It's all right.
A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So what do you think? Again, you don't want to tell your game plan, but do you foresee the fight being a stand-up fight, or are you going to take it to the ground, or wherever it goes?
I kind of like to just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Because if he anticipates the takedown too much, then I'll have more opportunities to strike.
Yeah.
But if he concentrates on only trying to knock me out, then he's going to open up a takedown.
Okay.
So
it is.
that is the game of cat and mouse.
Got you. Well, it's going to be a good fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. That's a matchup. When it was announced, I went, yeah, I like that fight for Phil. I think that's smart. And, and Glover Teixeira, he fought for the belt already, so he was coming off. He's a top contender. If you can knock him off, put you right back in the mix.
Bada bing.
Boo-hoo-hoo. So let's talk about the Anthony Johnson fight for a second. That was the last time we got to talk to you right before that fight. You went in there, didn't go your way. What was surprising about that fight?
Surprising? Not too much. I mean, Anthony Johnson really did a great job. I expected him to be, a tough fighter. More than anything, I was just flat. And there's just
And
nothing.
why do you think that is?
It's a number of things, but there's nothing you can really do to prevent it.
Yeah.
I trained hard, I ate good, I slept good, and some nights, you're just flat.
Yeah.
Some days on the radio, you're just not funny.
Wait a minute, Phil. That's never happened.
Never.
I'm still waiting for that day.
Never.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Oh, you listened to yesterday's show. I get it, Phil. No, listen, you're right. I mean, some days you just have a bad day at work. And there's nothing you can do to prevent it. So do you know that as you're warming up, or does it happen when you're inside the cage?
Usually once you're inside the cage. I mean, for me, I will never like acknowledge any bit of weakness.
Yeah.
With once you're in the cage and you're assessing, what you're doing and how you feel, like things feel a little bit different.
Okay.
Things aren't really going my way.
Yeah. And there's nothing. Is there anything you can do while the fight is going on that can snap you out of it or anything? Like chug a Red Bull or something? Like I don't know. What can you do?
Are they paying you?
Yeah, no, it's one of my sponsors on my shorts. Yeah, right?
Dr. Pepper on his shirt. Yeah, you chug a Dr. Pepper, right? And then you're right back in there.
Totally.
Well, if I would never chug a Red Bull, I would only chug a Bud Light, the official sponsor of the UFC.
Hey!
Oh,
Boom!
Boom!
That's how you do
During
it.
the fight, that would be really weird.
That would be. Right. All you can really do is just stay positive. I'm good about giving myself positive affirmations.
Yeah.
And
so after the fight, you didn't get too low. After you coming off a loss.
You definitely go through like a period where you're pretty upset, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say too low.
Yeah.
Now, do you get upset, like, people know not to be around you for a little while, give you a cool-off period, or are you just, like, internally upset? Because I know when my husband's...
Yeah.
Okay, because my husband, like, if his football team loses, he doesn't even play. Like, I don't even want to be around him, so I couldn't imagine actually being in the sport and losing, you know?
Right. Well, it's one of those things, like, you get beat up, you don't want to be, like, upset again.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of...
So the worst is already over,
Yes.
and you're prepared to move forward.
Yeah.
And we've heard a lot about, sometimes losses can fuel a fire. Sometimes
Absolutely.
they can actually do you some good. What did you think? Is that how you kind of utilize that? Is, you're coming off a loss and you go, listen, this is going to motivate me to not let that happen again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always, the hard times that make you more thankful when things are going your way, when your body's fresh, when you're training hard, and all those things. Definitely, I want to use that to make me hungry for another win.
Right. And you're training with all those monsters over at Alliance, so I mean they're not going to let you do anything but train hard.
Doesn't come easy.
Talk about one of your teammates, Dominic Cruz, and that crazy fight that he had in his great comeback. 3 years on the shelf, and he came back, and that's the way he won. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, you talk about the 7-year itch. This guy was laid up for so long.
Yeah.
And it's just like injured, healthy. And I mean, mentally, that messes with you.
Yeah.
People are telling him that, the best years of his fighting career are behind him, and he'll never be the same. And that type of stuff can seep into your mind and make you very doubtful.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job of never letting that hold him back or discourage him.
And we've heard a lot from different fighters that say, part of the game, or a big part of the game, is the mental part of it.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're not mentally right, that can really affect you going into the fight, right?
I mean, it's always good to be in shape.
Sure.
But that is a big part of it.
Because it really isn't every UFC fighter kind of in shape. I mean, they're all training. It's not like
Right.
you just roll out of bed and fight.
Okay.
What do we got?
There's some guys that don't train. I don't know why they would do that.
You're kidding me.
There's not that many of them.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not that many.
You're not going to last very long if you're doing that.
No.
There's got to be different levels of fitness, though, right? Like the top guys have just this crazy fitness, and then the other guys who are fit, but they just can't keep up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, mentally, you're prepared. You're ready to go. UFC 179, Glover Teixeira, co-main event. That's a big spot for you, Phil.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Spot. It's a tall drink, but I'm thirsty.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I like to hear. I like to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
I got myself.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. So let's talk about your division. Let's talk about John Jones, who's going to be fighting Daniel Cormier. What do you think about that fight, and who do you like in that fight?
I like Cormier.
Really?
I like Cormier.
Now, is that just because of you and John Jones aren't the best of friends, or?
Me and John Jones are the best of friends.
I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of rivalry.
Are you suggesting that I won't get an invite to Thanksgiving?
I don't think so, Phil. I don't know.
Like John Jones?
Well, you have a good point.
Crazy this. I don't know where you get this.
You're right. Okay, so
the radio just make stuff up.
I shouldn't do that. You and your bestie, John Jones. You guys have friendship bracelets, like the whole thing.
So sweet.
But you like Daniel Cormier in that fight.
Yeah, I like Daniel Cormier in that fight. I think he just brings more to the table.
DC.
And is that based on his wrestling or just all around game?
I think his all-around game is pretty solid. But I think when you have a guy like Daniel Cormier, his wrestling is so much better than John Jones.
Right.
Yeah, he's an outlier. He's an outlier. And when he gets his hands on John Jones, he's going to throw him.
Interesting. And I mean, what about, you want to talk about the mental part of the game? Those two guys really don't like each other. You saw it at the press conference where they're fighting already and the whole thing. Does that play a part when you get into the cage where, if you really don't like a guy, can that get you out of what your game plan would be?
I should hope not.
Yeah.
I've never fought a guy I don't like.
Yeah.
But
well, Vinny Magalese, he wasn't your favorite guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
He wasn't my favorite guy, but luckily
you didn't have hate.
Yeah, I didn't have hate. He was just, more than anything, he was just confused. He was just confused.
Yeah.
He didn't understand why I was in the top 10.
Right.
And I had to explain it to him.
With your fist.
With my fist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right.
I'm Italian.
He understands now.
And I talk with my hands.
Yeah, it's like a hand.
That makes total sense.
Got it.
So again, we're not looking past Glover Teixeira, but if Daniel Cormier does win that fight, how would you match up with a Daniel Cormier? Because your wrestling's pretty darn good too. How do you think that would be as a fight?
That's a difficult fight because
for anybody,
our strengths match up.
Right.
Is
he a better wrestler than you?
He definitely has more accolades.
Okay.
I won't lie there.
Okay.
I won't lie there.
But is he better?
I never wrestled him.
Okay.
I see where you go with that.
Okay.
I can't take anything from him.
Yeah.
Two-time Olympian. When I was in high school, he was the resident athlete at the OTC, Olympic Training Center.
Okay.
And man, I was just like, man, this guy is cool.
Yeah.
Of course, when you're in high school, everybody's cool.
Sure.
Everybody's cool.
Right.
But he was actually doing it. Him and King Mo, they were both.
So there you go, man. This is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. UFC 179, October 25th, on pay-per-view. Phil Davis taking on Glover Teixeira in the co-main event. It's going to be good. That's a good fight.
It's going to be good.
I like it. Of course, Phil, brought to you by Bud Light.
Duh.
Of course.
Have one during the fight.
Yeah, we're going to try it out. It's a new thing. We're going to try it out.
Why not?
Yeah.
If a guy wants to slam a beer, why not? That's not going to make him win.
I got no problems with this. Awesome. Hey, Phil, always great catching up with you, my friend. All right, so the NBA season, is it too long?